Hello, the aim of this video is to explain the details of the hold item work order. As you can see, when we click the hold item page in our program, this page will be open, and this is the list view of the hold item work order. All lists are written in order from the beginning to the last at the right time. Since there are so many type of data in the hold item work order, I guess it's not a useful page to overview and hold item. Actually, from this side, you need to know the filtering options here. When you select any data group, let's open one. For example, here is the registration, Tango Juliet Bravo. It will be listed from the opening date from recent to the old, and filtered by the registration. And also there is one more, I guess, useful and beneficial hold item filtering option. This is the open hold items, which indicates which lists all of the open the hold items. And after that, if you open that, we can by double clicking this or by turning into split view like this. Here is the button. We can open the record view of suspect report. Actually, report view, since the data are separated by the blocks, is much more useful, I guess. But as you can see in the hold item record view, all items are protected, all fields are protected. Let's try to insert any record. Again, the all fields are protected. So here it is. So in that case, we understand that any hold item cannot be opened or inserted by deleted or updated in the hold item page. This is only an overview page. As you can see, there is a part, the beginning record view. There is an opening block, closing block, and as you can see, these are containing all the related possible data group. And here is the one-time extension, if one-time extension applied. And here is the troubleshooting. In case there is a troubleshooting or M procedure, this data will stay here. And here is the discrepancy action taken overview tab. Actually, let's explain this area. This area is just show all of the items performed, all of the actions performed in accordance with suspect hill. For example, what can be existing here? Actually, it will be better after we explain the data entry. And yes, these three tabs. Now let's try to insert an hold item into our system by actually it means that actually opening a hold item. Actually, it's same with our procedures. Since we cannot make any hold item record directly into the hold item logbook, we have to at first mention that data entry into our data log defect. Actually, data logbook. And data logbook, the defect fields are mentioning the data log defect entries, so we are performing all of our actions from data log defect page. So let's go to the data log defect page. And here is the list view of the data log work order. And actually I prepared 3 examples here and want to go through these. Yes. In order to enter any hold item record, you have to at first fill that linking details, fill release information, and save the data, which means that you have to generate the data log defect. Here it's written. As you may remember, let's press insert button. When we are not saved and created data log, as you can see, there is no data log defect ID number. So it means that there is no data lock defect to link with hold item. So at first we have to fill these two areas, release and linking informations, and press the same button. After we save the record, we have to fill afterwards the discrepancy and action taken information, because after with this program, when you open or close or make any action on actually on your open and close, when you open and close hold item, the program will automatically trigger emails to the related departments. So without discrepancy action taken information, it doesn't have any meaning to send an empty information table to the related departments. So you have to fill this linking and release information at first, and after that come to the discrepancy action taken, fill it, and after that you have right to link it with any other work order, like servicing any field. Now we are making hold item example. So after I finally fill the discrepancy action taken, come to the hill, and here there is an action type field for the hold item. Let's click this. Icon and open the predefined fields for this field. As you can see here, there are some options: open, close, one-time extension, RMP troubleshooting. As you can see, these are all the actions that we can perform related with an hold item. We can open a hold item, we can make a recurrent end procedure on a hold item, we can make troubleshooting for an hold item, we can make one-time extension on a hold item, or close the hold item. And we have to select from here related issue. Actually, after now, I can say that for all these 4 items except open, this is only one. We will only fill one field, 1 or 2 fields actually. Only for one-time extension 2 fields. For closing, RMP and troubleshooting, we will fill only 1 field. But for the open action, since there is a due limit for this, and program is tracking this hold item, we have to clarify, and also this hold item may affect the visibility of the aircraft, etc. So we have to define all the constraints really so good during the open action. Because of that, we have a group of data set when we are opening an hold item. Let's select open and go through to open an hold item. And when we press select open here, we have to just below, and we have to give right here the hold item number, which we assigned in the hard copy of the hold item logbook in the which is existing in the aircraft. So we have to write here the hold item number that we assigned with our hands. Let's make it 44. And afterwards, actually there is a little information missing that I forgot to tell you here. Yes, as you can see, here is an MEL reference, and also there are options for the CDL. If you will not mention here any MEL or CDL references, program will not allow you to open a hold item in case you will not click this checkbox. Here you can, if our item is not related with MEL or CDL item, we have to check this checkbox for to continue our records without entering an MEL or CDL item. And yes, we write it here open, and here item 44. Since our item is related with an MEL item, MEL or CDL item, Actually, let's make another example, which is the most complicated one. Let's delete this. Yes. Now came to here, and this is an opening action. Item 44, not related with MEL or CDL. And afterwards, the program needs category from us. Actually, as you can see, there are 5 options, A, B, C, D. You know what is A, B, D, C. For the A, B, C, D, for the B, C, and D types of the hold items, the due date, the limit of the hold item is predefined, which is 3 days, 10 days, and 120 days. But for the A and the others options, the limit can be anything. So let's do that kind of option, that kind of example. If we select A, category A or category other, we have to define the limits. How can we define the limits? What can be the limits? Calendar day, flight hour, or flight cycle of the aircraft. So it can be one of them, either one of them, or a couple of them can be the limit, whichever comes first or whichever comes last. And here, these in the drive unit field, these actions, these types are specified. Calendar day, flight cycle, flight hours, whichever comes first or whichever comes last. In case you select here calendar day, you have to fill here calendar day. In case you select flight cycle, you have to fill here on the flight cycle. In case you select here flight hour, you have to fill on the flight hour. For the whichever comes first and whichever comes last options, you have to fill at least 2 fields from these 3 limit types, which are calendar day, flight hour, and flight cycle. So let's select this whichever comes first option, and let's have our example that need to be performed in 75 flight hours or 25 cycles. And now we define all our limits. And after that, here effect on LVO capability. Please take care of here. You shouldn't write here the current LVO status of the aircraft. When you are filling this field, you have to think that if there is no hold item or defect or malfunction on the aircraft, and only this malfunction or hold item is existing, what will be the LVO capability of the aircraft? Because of that, here it's written effect on LVO capability. For example, if because in accordance with the data that you are entering here, program will tracking the LVO capability of the aircraft and informing the OCC department. So if you feel here because of another hold, aircraft category LVO capability is Cat 1, and with this hold item, it will not and this hold item is not affecting the LVO capability, and we write here Cat 1 due to the other hold. In that case, although the other hold item closed, the air as long as this hold item be open, the aircraft LVO capability will stay as Cat 1. So please take care of this. Let's think that our hold item make aircraft Cat 2. And after that, here is another option. As you know, in our MEL, there are some options some M and O procedures are specified. What can they be? M, O, M plus O, or nothing. So let's make an example for M plus O. For O, it's not important for us. This information is just for the OCC department. And here, recurrent action required. This field can only be filled in case there is an M action here. What can they be? Only M or M plus O. In other cases, you cannot fill here because this action mentions that the end procedure that you need to perform to make this hold is a recurrent action. For example, if you remove for the classics main landing gear door, at that time you have to put grease on the crossfeed valve in a daily basis. Let's make this example. We select here M plus O, and afterwards we checked here, and here M procedure details. In case we perform M procedure, we have to write here the applicable references. For example, here DDG. Actually, just I'm making an example. I know that we already check here MEL, and this item is not related with MEL or CDL. But now I said you that the item that I said you is a CDL item. So please, just I'm making the most complicated example. And we have to write here the M procedure details in case we perform M procedure or select M procedure from here. And yes, DDG. Now we filled the DDG information, and in case we click here recurrent action required, we have to define a limit for this action also, because this is a recurrent action, and every specified interval we have to perform this. So the same cycle again, like here, drive unit, calendar day limit, flight hour limit, flight cycle limit, we have to define these areas also in for the recurrent actions. What we said previously, our item is 1 day interval, so we have to select here calendar day, and from here we have to select, actually our item is cycle based, so before each cycle, so we have to select here flight cycle and 1, which means before every flight. Yes. Now as you can see, as a final information, as you can see near all of the field names, there are some specifications in the parentheses. Since this here it's written open, we have to assess this area for data entry during an opening, hill opening action. Open, 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 open. As you can see, all of them is open, but here it's written open plus M procedure, which means that you should select an action from here, open, and after that I should select here an M procedure, which I previously told you, and here open M procedure plus RMP. When I'm making this recurrent M procedure, I need to make an M procedure again, and this is because of that. And afterwards, for this area, it should be open plus recurrent M procedure. So this is for the recurrent M procedure actions, as we discussed previously. And here, as you can see, 3 more areas. One of them is troubleshooting one-time extension, RMP, and close related. One of them is only one-time extension related. We will pass through these areas when in further parts of our video. Now actually, in order to open our hold item, we are going to save the record. Now as you can see, any hold item work order number is assigned here and written in that field, and we can go there and by double clicking see what happened in this in work order page of the hold item. We double clicked over there, and the hold item page is opened, and here is our record. As you can see, only the opening block is filled with the necessary information, close block, and the one-time extension block, and the troubleshooting and action and procedure. Troubleshooting is not existing in the troubleshooting and procedure tab. But here there is a work order. There is another item which RMP is written at the bottom. As you remember, we mentioned in our while we are opening the hold item, we mentioned that there is a recurrent end procedure which need to be performed in every cycle of the aircraft. So as you can see, the program will automatically open a recurrent end procedure work order here. And as you can see, this is only opened, not closed. The closing information is not existing here. So from here we understand that this RMP is an open recurrent end procedure work order. What if we perform this recurrent end procedure in the next cycle? Another one will be popped up here, and the closing information will be filled. And the closing information field for this will be the opening information of the next one. We will see with the next RMP this section again. And also here, discrepancy action taken field. As I said previously, these are the actions. This is containing all of the actions performed related with this hold item. And here two actions are existing. One of them is the opening action, and the other one is the RMP action. And here is the data log no open information for the RMP. And let's make another example here. Now let's make this is again let's make an RMP for suspect. Oh, yes, hold item. And here again I prepared previously a data log defect for this video. And what did I do previously? I only filled the linking information, release information, and save, and afterwards enter the discrepancy action taken information here. And yes, now I have enough rights to link it with an hold item. Now, if I want to perform any recurrent end procedure, I have to write here or select from here RMP, and after that, as you can see, RMP is only written here and here. I have to write here the number of the hold item, which is 44 in our example, and here the end procedure details. Since I am making an end procedure now, recurrent end procedure, there should be a reference for the section, and this is, for example, DDG52. Just written something coming in my mind. Okay, now I'm saving. And when I pressed the save button, yes, it's saved. Let's go to the related hold item page and see what was happened for the troubleshooting issue. Actually, at the beginning page, record view, there is no issue, information about the RMP procedure. Let's come to this troubleshooting and procedure tab. As you can see here, as I said before, the closing information was filled with the action that we just performed. And as you can see here, the information, for example, the data log defect work order. Let's compare it here. It's same. They are same with the closing information of the upper RMP. So when you close this, another one will be directly opened. So the only thing that you have to do is after filling your after creating your data lock defect, just linking by entering the hold item number in the data log defect page. So it's directly triggering here. And also let's perform another example. What can it be? Let's perform a troubleshooting here. We have to just write here troubleshooting, and after that troubleshooting is only existing here. Write the number of the action that we want to perform. And now let's save it and go there and check what was happened here. Again, we came to the hold item page, and here is the troubleshooting and procedure tab. As you can see, another troubleshooting action was added here. To see the details of this, and you have to use that discrepancy action taken tab. As you can see, all of the actions that we performed are here. Opening, the first RMP that we performed, and the second RMP was triggered by when we performed the first RMP. And here is the troubleshooting action. And we may have two other actions related with hold item. What are these? One of them is let's make our example here. One of them is one-time extension. One of them is closing. Actually, closing means also one-time extension. So I will make one-time extension example. Here we have to select one-time extension OTE, and afterwards, as you can see here, one-time new HillNo one-time extension, and here related HillNo one-time extension. So what should we write here? Related HillNo is 44, which is the whole item that we are working. And when we are making whole one-time extension, as you know, we are closing according to our procedures. We are closing one whole item and opening another one by referencing to the other. So we have to come here and write the new hold item number that we assigned by our hands on the hold item logbook. For example, the new one will be 47. We have to save it now. Now actually program give us an error, because as you know, at the first time when we are opening the hold item, we entered a recurrent end procedure, and now a recurrent end procedure is existing in the hold item structure. So we have to perform that if we want to extend the limit of the hold item, which means that we want to perform the one-time extension, because when we are opening this hold, we have to perform this end procedure. So program is forcing us, let's open it again, read it here. There is an open recurrent end procedure work order related with suspect hold item. Please fill details of recurrent end procedure which must be performed during one-time extension process, DDG references, etc. Here we understand that we have to write here the reference of the work we performed. This will be possibly generally DDG reference, and after that we can save the record. When we save the record, let's go again hold item and check what was happened. Let's delete it. Yes. Yes, here is the action number 424, the first hold item that we worked on. As you can see, opening action here, and the close information also filled, because we close with one-time extension the hold item number 44. And after that, whole one-time extension information was also filled with the same information here. But there is also another link, which is the new hold item number. and afterwards go to the troubleshooting and procedure area. As you can see, here is an RMP, and this and this is the one which was open uh, before the closing action. And as you can see, it's closed also, because when we are extending this, we already performed this, or when we are closing, there is no need for this RMP again. So the closing information of this RMP was filled with the closing information of the hold item. And afterwards, here is the discrepancy action taken tab. As you can see, all the items performed were listed here. And at the last, there is one closing and one-time extension rows. Actually, since with the one-time extension we close this whole item, as you can see, closing is written also here in the overview of the hold item number 44. So let's go to the hold item number 47, which we opened by applying one-time extension to this item number 44. And here it is, the item 47. Only opening block is full at the beginning page, at the record view page, and one-time extension and the closing areas are empty. So from here we understand that it's an open whole item. And let's come here to the troubleshooting field. As you can see, the previous actions performed on the whole item 44 are also transferred to this whole item, because actually this is the continuing, and this is a continuous whole item, and this is a part of the previous one. And here, because of that, the previous one's listed, and afterwards, since there is an RMP, a new RMP is issued here. So again, in the same interval that we mentioned in the first hold item, we have to perform this also. And here, let's open discrepancy action taken tab. Here again, all of them listing. As you remember, the items from here to here, from beginning to here, belongs to the first hold item number 44. These are also listed here for an enhanced overview, and also another two action which has to be performed with the new item is listed here, which are the opening and action and the RMP opening. So as you can see, we just write there the new and old hold item at the data log defect, and it transferred all the limit data etc. from the first hold item. Since we already defined these limits and additional information in the first hold item, which is number 44, we don't need to enter these here during the data log defect entry. We just linked it and say that related data log defect mentions a one-time extension for hold item number 44, and program made all necessary arrangements at the backside. And another information related with hold item: when you open or close any hold item, the program is sending information mails to the related departments, including the OCC. So afterwards, you don't need to prepare any hold item message after this program. So actually, these are all about the hold item module of the Infor EAM program. I hope it's also clear for you. Thank you for listening.